the haunting of Poveglia Island, tucked away in the Venetian lagoon of northern Italy. This case stands as a lesser-known but deeply unsettling chapter in the annals of paranormal lore. This small, uninhabited island has borne witness to centuries of tragedy and despair, earning a reputation as one of the most haunted places in the world. Poveglia Island's dark history dates back to the Roman era when it was designated as a quarantine station for ships arriving in Venice carrying victims of the bubonic plague. The island became a grim repository for the afflicted, with mass graves and crude quarantine facilities scattered across its landscape. The suffering and death that unfolded during this period laid the foundation for the eerie atmosphere that envelopes the island to this day. As the centuries passed, Poveglia Island's sinister reputation only deepened. In the early 20th century, the Italian government transformed the island into a mental institution, adding another layer of horror to its troubled history. The asylum housed individuals with various mental illnesses, and reports suggest that the conditions were deplorable. Stories of cruel experimental treatments and the mistreatment of patients became intertwined with the island's dark legacy. Poveglia's haunted history took a particularly chilling turn with the tales of ghostly apparitions, disembodied screams, and mysterious sounds that echoed through the empty corridors. Locals and paranormal enthusiasts alike believe that the tortured souls of plague victims and former mental patients continue to linger on the island, their restless spirits trapped in a perpetual state of anguish. One of the most infamous legends surrounding Poveglia Island revolves around a doctor who worked in the mental institution. According to the chilling narrative, this doctor conducted twisted experiments on patients, pushing the boundaries of ethical and humane treatment to their limits. Overwhelmed by guilt and haunted by the tormented souls of those he experimented on, the doctor met a gruesome end. Some versions of the tale claim that he plunged from the bell tower in a fit of madness, while others suggest that he survived the fall only to be strangled by an otherworldly mist that enveloped him. In 1968, the Italian government officially closed Poveglia Island to the public, and access to the site is strictly prohibited. Despite the island's isolation, its haunting reputation persists, drawing the attention of intrepid adventurers and paranormal investigators. Those who have dared to explore its desolate shores report eerie encounters, unexplained phenomena, and an overwhelming sense of foreboding. While Poveglia Island may not boast the same global recognition as some other haunted locations, its dark and tragic history, combined with the reported paranormal activity, continues to captivate the imaginations of those drawn to the supernatural. The island stands as a somber testament to the suffering and despair that unfolded within its boundaries, a mysterious and eerie destination that remains shrouded in the unsettling echoes of its past. The Bell Witch haunting is a compelling and well-documented paranormal case that unfolded in Adams, Tennessee during the early 19th century. The story revolves around the Bell family, primarily John Bell, who was a farmer, and his daughter Betsy, who claimed to be tormented by a malevolent entity known as the Bell Witch. The haunting began in 1817 when peculiar and unexplained things started to occur on the Bell property. Strange knocking sounds echoed through the house, the sound of chains being dragged could be heard, and a mysterious black dog was said to roam the premises. As time passed, the disturbances intensified, with the entity allegedly physically attacking members of the Bell family, especially targeting John Bell. The Bell Witch was said to be a cunning and malevolent spirit that not only tormented the family with eerie noises but also communicated with them. The entity displayed an eerie intelligence, possessing knowledge of events happening miles away and speaking in various voices, often engaging in conversations with the family members. The Bell Witch seemed to take a particular interest in Betsy Bell, frequently interacting with her and escalating its torment. One of the most notable aspects of the Bell Witch case is the claimed involvement of future President Andrew Jackson. According to the legend, Jackson, along with his men, visited the Bell home in 1819. During their stay, they purportedly experienced disturbances, including the mysterious sounds and voices associated with the Bell Witch. Legend has it that Jackson, known for his toughness and fearlessness, proclaimed the Bell Witch to be the meanest spirit he had ever encountered. As the haunting persisted, John Bell's health began to decline rapidly, and he succumbed to mysterious circumstances in 1820. The Bell Witch claimed responsibility for his death, asserting that it had poisoned him. Following John Bell's death, the entity ominously declared that it would return in 1821 and then fell silent. The Bell Witch case has fascinated paranormal enthusiasts and researchers for generations. Numerous books, articles, and documentaries have delved into the details of this chilling haunting. While skeptics argue that the events may have been exaggerated or fabricated over time, proponents of the Bell Witch haunting maintain that it stands as one of the most intriguing and unsettling examples of a poltergeist haunting in American history. The tale of the Bell Witch continues to capture the imagination, leaving the question of its authenticity open to interpretation. The Amityville Horror. A story I'm sure all of you have already heard, but it earns its spot as story number 3 because of its terrifying hauntings. The Amityville Horror is an enduring and controversial paranormal saga that unfolded in the quiet suburban town of Amityville, New York in the 1970s. The eerie tale revolves around the Lutz family, who unwittingly stepped into a house with a dark history at 112 Ocean Avenue. In December 1975, George and Kathy Lutz, along with their 3 children, embarked on a new chapter of their lives by moving into a seemingly idyllic Dutch colonial-style home. Little did they know, the house had borne witness to a horrifying event just a year earlier. The DeFeo family, the previous occupants, met a tragic end when Ronald DeFeo Jr. brutally murdered 6 of his family members in their sleep. The Lutz family's unsettling experiences began almost immediately after they crossed the threshold of their new home. At first, it was subtle, strange odors wafting through the air, unexplained creaks in the floorboards, and mysterious cold spots that seemed to defy any logical explanation. However, these minor disturbances soon escalated into a nightmarish symphony of paranormal activity. Doors would slam shut of their own accord even when there was no breeze to justify their movement. Swarms of flies appeared in the dead of winter, creating an unnatural and unsettling atmosphere. The Lutzes reported witnessing shadowy figures moving through the hallways and hearing disembodied voices whispering sinister messages. George Lutz claimed that he would consistently wake up at the chilling hour of 3:15 a.m., the same time when the DeFeo murders had occurred, feeling an oppressive and malevolent presence permeating the house. One of the most chilling aspects of the Amityville Horror is George Lutz's claim that he encountered a demonic entity in the basement, a grotesque, pig-like creature with glowing red eyes. This entity, he believed, was a malevolent force that had taken residence in the house, seeking to terrorize and torment the new occupants. As the paranormal activity intensified, the Lutz family sought the assistance of renowned paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. The Warrens, known for their work on various high-profile cases, including the Annabelle doll and the Perron family haunting, depicted in the Conjuring film series, claimed that the Amityville house was indeed a hotbed of demonic activity. In their account, the Warrens described the house as a battleground between good and evil, with malevolent forces attempting to gain a foothold in our realm. The Amityville Horror case, with its elements of tragedy, demonic entities, and haunted history, captured the public's imagination and became a cultural phenomenon. The Lutz family's harrowing experiences were detailed in the book The Amityville Horror, written by J. Anson and published in 1977. The book became a bestseller, sparking widespread fascination with the supernatural. The story was subsequently adapted into a series of films, further cementing its place in popular culture. However, the Amityville Horror has also been met with skepticism and controversy. Critics argue that the Lutz family fabricated or exaggerated their experiences for financial gain. Inconsistencies in their accounts and the subsequent investigations have fueled debates about the authenticity of the haunting. Despite the controversy, the Amityville Horror remains one of the most enduring and debated paranormal cases in modern history. Whether one views it as a true account of supernatural terror or a cleverly concocted tale, the story of the Lutz family and their brief, haunted tenure in the infamous house on Ocean Avenue continues to captivate and unsettle audiences around the world.